I just want to be able to help to build whatever this is, this culture, whatever this is. I just want to be known as one of the people that helped to build it.
Alright, Savage Dan, man. Appreciate you having us in your studio.
I appreciate
spot, man.
me having you in this studio as well.
Nah, I appreciate it. Let's get straight into it. Innit? So, for those who don't know who you are, and that list is decreasing, who is Savage Dan?
You know what? If I'm totally honest, I'm still trying to work out what it is I do. I don't know. Like I've just got my fingers in every pie. So it's like like primarily I'm a engineer, a music engineer.
Okay.
So I would say that's my bread and butter, like music, working with artists and labels and blah 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 blah. But then building studios as well and having other people work in them and all of that kind of stuff is like a byproduct of it.
Yeah.
And then podcasts come as almost a byproduct of it. And then there's a kind of whole different identity to me via the podcast world. And then you got sports.
Yeah.
And that's like my love, my first love, innit? So it's like football and boxing is what I've always loved.
Yeah.
And that's it. I feel like you find Savage Dan somewhere between music, podcasts, sports, and anarchy.
And anarchy.
Yeah. That's pretty much it. Like I just do a little bit of everything.
Do you feel like you live in the chaos? You thrive in the chaos?
I'm most comfortable amongst chaos.
That's fair.
Or just amongst like, you see like that edge where you can fall off.
Yeah.
Like I have to live right there.
To feel most comfortable.
So like even like weird situations where like you're thrown in a room with like 10 people that you're nothing like.
Yeah.
I'll just become like them. I'll just adapt.
How comes?
I don't know. I think from quite young I just learned to be like
a jack of all trades.
A jack of all trades. That's exactly what it is. My mum always used to call me that as well. Just if I'm in a room full of lawyers, I'll just pretend to be a lawyer. And if I'm with the drillers, then I'll be the driller too. Like, that's it. Like, so I just literally just like a bit of everything. I can just, I'm just everything.
That's fair, man.
Yeah.
So I have to ask this question because you are called Savage Dan.
Yeah.
Why are you a savage? What makes you Savage Dan? Don't do that.
There's numerous
situations.
Do you know what? Let's just say. Do you know what? That the name wasn't even one I picked for me.
No.
It was picked for me.
Yeah, I know.
So like, it's not even one I can play down too much. But I am a deviant. Or I have been a deviant in every sense of the word.
Yes.
So in terms of, I don't know, like people love that word right now, savage.
It
is one of those, it's just one of those words. Like, so maybe when that word goes out of fashion, I'll go with it. But it's one of those things where it's just like, I've kind of always just been on anything, which is like...
That's a good thing, though.
It's a good thing, yeah, I suppose. I'm a proper risk taker. So that's it. That's.
Well, you wouldn't have this studio if you weren't, would you?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But some people take risks that just...
aren't worth the risk.
Yeah, I kind of weigh up that like risk assessment pretty fast. I do it in my head. I'm just like, I'll fuck it. And I'll go for it.
That's fair enough, man.
Yeah.
So...
that was a good sidestep to why I'm called Savage Dan.
I know.
That was pretty good. Even I'm impressed.
I know. I'm still waiting for the answer. But I'm gonna read through the lines and just allow you off that one. I'll let you be free from that one. So, being called Savage Dan, has that helped you get to a certain position in terms of sports? I know because audio engineering, that would be technical. You would have done a lot of
the thing is, no, I didn't do that at uni or college or anything like that. I learned just from my room.
Oh, right.
Literally, when I probably started doing this like 12 years ago. So there wasn't, I don't even think YouTube was really around like that. There wasn't anything. And if there was nothing on it.
Yeah, that's true.
So it's like, I had to learn by getting it wrong for a long time.
Did you use like Fruit Loop and stuff?
Yeah, but I started with Cubase, a cracked Cubase.
Oh, wow.
Like ages ago. In fact, it might have been Nuendo, which is even better than Cubase now, and I can't get that now. But I just learned from my room. But it's weird, I kind of separate what I do. So a lot of people won't be aware that I mix, master, engineer. Like, you just won't be aware. Because I don't really... I do so much that I kind of don't... It's weird. Like, I'm definitely not a shy person. But I'm not the person that likes to do, look at me.
Yes.
Look at what I'm doing.
Yeah.
That has just never been my thing. I think it's like a little bit forced. I don't know why. Because in reality, you kind of should like celebrate your accomplishments and all of that kind of stuff. But I don't. For whatever, I haven't even got a picture of me in my own studio.
I have noticed that.
It's crazy. It's crazy, yeah. But it's just
could be called humble, isn't
it? But also I just don't really think about certain things. Whereas a lot of people see things just like, oh, picture opportunity. Oh, let me show this or let me show that. Yeah. Mine's just like, if it doesn't come to me in that moment, I'm never gonna force it.
Yeah.
And because of it, I think people like only like a week ago did I put in my like bio like what I actually do, because I got told to do it. Yeah. But yeah, other than that, I kind of like just always just kind of float from here to there. So it probably has helped. Savage Dan's probably helped me in terms of sports and stuff like that. But that's probably more Filthy Fellas than Savage Dan, if I'm honest. Yeah. Just because it's like a bit of a bigger shop window, and you don't really realise that it's a biggish shop window until brands start coming in and talking and wanting to work with you and do stuff like that. So yeah, I really fell into this by accident.
That's not always a bad thing.
It's not, But I literally, if someone told me even 8 years ago that you'll have an actual studio and this is what you'll be actually doing forever, I would have just I don't think I had a clear plan of what I was doing. I just felt like I was boxing at the time as well, so I always thought I would probably box, especially at that moment.
Professionally.
Yeah, I thought I'd box professionally. At one point in my head, that's all I could see.
Yeah.
But yeah, like life just sends you in whatever direction, and I'm here, and I'm cool with it. It's easier than boxing still.
Yeah. A lot less punishment, a lot less stress. Nah, that's fair enough, man. So has the persona of Savage Dan, has that ever hindered you from an opportunity, or has it just opened doors?
I think so. The thing is, when your persona hinders you from opportunities, you probably don't know that it's hindering you. But I guarantee, because of Savage Dan and what he probably did represent but doesn't represent so much right now, it's still a little bit of it takes probably like a riskier brand to come in and do work with me, even though it doesn't in reality, but it's just how it looks sometimes,
perception's reality at
perception
times,
is, we're in that age now where probably perception is even worth more. So I reckon it has hindered a couple things. Not that I would know what they are, but I think it has hindered a couple things.
Probably where stopped a couple of conversations and stuff.
But like, until if you just see or hear what you think Savage Dan is, and obviously nowadays there's so many alternatives to Savage Dan. Like, there's so many other people you can work with. You can find someone who's safer for whatever brand or image, whatever it is you're trying to push. But it just, different people lend themselves to just different things, man. Even just voices, like, you'll get a voice in a voiceover that lends itself to cars and watches, and another one that will lend itself to.
Do you feel like that's your fault in that sense, or do you feel like it's the fault of like other stuff that's happened in the past of other different creators?
It's my fault. I have to own everything. Like, if I've said something that will put a brand like, it's my fault. I own it. But at the same time, I cannot be anyone but me, and I hate not being me and like having to, like, I wouldn't have really survived much in like a conventional office job. Because even though I'm quite good at hiding certain parts, I don't think I could do it forever, 9 to 5 for 20 years to pretend I'm this person when in reality I'm this person. So I always try to just be me, and if it doesn't fit your brand, I'm not the one for your brand. You know what I'm saying? Then someone else should have that job before I have that job anyway. But it's weird for me to even talk like this, because in reality I have a job. You see what I'm saying? Like, it's weird. Like, I don't, you see, like, there's loads of people that are content creators, and their job essentially is to create as much content as they can. Mine isn't, because I actually have to.
You're here.
I prefer to be in the back, actually, if I'm honest, and just let other people do front. I don't mind doing the back on a Friday night, on a Saturday night. I don't mind that. I don't mind raving and being loud, but I don't like being loud every day and having to be seen every day and having to post stuff every day.
Yeah, because you got probably into Instagram recently, you know? Like you. I remember
do you know what it is? Yeah, around December times, I was like, I want to make sure I keep my followers low. Yeah. I just wanted to keep my followers low. I can't be bothered to be bait. Yeah, I can't be bothered to. And then in January, I was just like, oh, do you know what? Forget it, man. Let's just go for it. And even then, I've only posted like 5 pictures since. But like, I understand that engagement.
That's key.
Grows a brand and all of this. And obviously, I'm around like beasts. Yeah. Like social media beasts. So they get this, and I know exactly what the blueprint is. It just doesn't come very naturally to me. That's the only thing. Like I don't ask people to take a picture of me, or I don't ask people like. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't always feel the need to post stuff, or I'll just forget. Yeah, like I'll go entire months. Like last year, I posted 9 pictures the whole year. By accident. I just didn't realize. This is what I'm saying. I'm on Insta every day, but I didn't realize that I'm not doing anything on Insta. I'm just kind of preying. Yeah. So, I'm going to try and play the game a little bit more. I have to get to that 10K followers so I can just up it. I'll be there this month or something like that. I'll just push on and...
Oh, well, at least we know now.
Yeah, I may as well play the game whilst I can. And people care about that swipe up stuff.
They do.
I put the swipe up thing. You can't even swipe up. You're there. You just
Nah, I hear that, man. So clearly you're successful in terms of like the studio and business, and in terms of like, and then also with brands and music and podcasts. So how did you go about creating your own studio? Because I know this isn't your first spot.
No, this is my 3rd or 4th actual studio. Yeah. It started in my room. Yeah. So it goes as far back as me breaking my leg. So I broke my leg, and I rapped. I wanted to rap. Well, not that I wanted to be a rapper, but you see that phase where everyone was spitting grime, and I was just one of them. Broke my leg, so now you can't go to radio, you can't go to youth club, you can't go to studio, you can't do anything. So I remember like ordering like just like a really dead pair of speakers and a dead mic, and just trying to learn to engineer from my room. Yeah. Getting it wrong, sounding terrible, but just experimenting. Yeah. And then all of a sudden it started to sound better and better. And then before you know it, people from West London are like whacking out their mixtapes in my room. So already I've kind of built almost like a client base. Yes. But no one was paying for it. It's just come and chill. I lived on my own from when I was like 18. Oh, wow. So it was just like people will come and chill, but whilst we're chilling, I'll just do something, whatever it is. So I was learning on the job without even realizing that I was learning. And then my missus got pregnant. Actually, that's what happened. And all of a sudden, you've kind of got to I had not had a job my whole life. I'd been very about, and obviously, and all of a sudden, life, like you actually might have to get serious now, just a bit. Yes. So I'm just like, all right, cool, fuck it. I'll actually open a studio. Yes. And at that point, it was probably boxing or studio. But boxing's obviously very unpromised, very like
you're one fight away from losing. Like
not even just that, as in the amount of boxers there are. Yeah. Compared to the ones that you see actually make any money at all. Yeah. It's like football, for example. Look how many Sunday league teams and Saturday teams there are. Yeah. But then you've got the Prem, and everyone sees the Prem and thinks that it's attainable, but it probably wasn't super duper realistic. So I opted for studio, opened my first one, and it kind of hit the ground running. Yeah. Hit the ground running, and then we had to move because the building got bought. Oh, fair. So, and we got given 30 days notice. I was just like, found another one in Acton, built it, but it was a bit of a panic build. Didn't fall in love with it at all. It was like a little bit grotty, but it was still like very like I needed it at the time. Yeah. Then I went and built the third one, which was across the road from here. Yeah. And that was like the room that actually became quite a well-known room aesthetically, because Halfcast started recording visually in there. A lot of the podcasts started to go visual that year. So all of a sudden you've got this room that seems to be getting seen in like quite a few different places and blah, 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 blah. Then my lease ran out there. It didn't run out. I could have renewed it. But I was kind of like skeptical about wanting to stay there because it was really, really busy. I'm there like 80 hours a week.
Oh, wow.
And I was just like, I need to find a way to still have it available for everyone to be able to use, but without me actually working so many hours.
Yeah.
And then I saw this become available and I just thought, yeah, do it. And then I did it. It's been 8 months of building, but because of it, it's almost going to be like, it'll be like, it will end up being a studio that you'd imagine a brand to make, I think, rather than an individual.
Yeah.
So yeah, like I'll be proud of it when it's done. But for now, it's just like, for me, I'm looking at it and I'm just like, all I can see is flaws and all I can see is like where it needs to be improved and what I have to do. I cannot wait for it to be finished. But yeah, that was like my studio journey. It literally started from my bedroom and then went through 3 studios to here, and hopefully I'm here for a long time now.
I hope so as well, man. It looks nice.
It's getting there. It's getting there. Nice. We're getting there.
That's good, man. So you were talking about how a lot of podcasts were becoming visual. Yeah. So like, I know at the start, 3 Shots talked about you recently, saying that you were there at the beginning. Obviously Halfcast, Touchline Fracker. So you sort of like, in terms of with your audio engineering as well, sort of like become like a hub for podcasts.
Exactly.
Successful podcasts anyway. So like, do you take an active role in helping them, or do you like just sit in the background?
I prefer to be the fly on the wall. It's definitely easier to do it now because I'm so busy. Yeah. I kind of just set up these podcasts, give a few words of advice, and I get out of the room whilst they're recording. Yeah. But before I used to be more involved in the actual podcast themselves, probably because I was in that. It was one room first of all. Yeah. And I probably had a little bit more time on my hands. Yeah. And also, like with 3 Shots, like obviously I'm a part of Halfcast. Yeah. But with 3 Shots, I felt a part of it as well. It's like, that's my guys. I'll chill there. Yeah. And yeah, so like with 3 Shots, you kind of don't need to give them any advice anyway. Them 3 know exactly what they're doing, and they know the reasons why they're doing certain things as well. Like a lot of people make podcasts, but they don't really know why they're making. A lot of people are making podcasts because everyone else is making podcasts.
Yeah, because the end thing to do.
Exactly. Yeah. So that's fine for me because I am gonna be a beneficiary of it. But in reality, I'm not trying to like my podcasts like they're cheap as anything. So I'm not trying to make a killing. I've seen like loads of people talk about like studios that are charging like double and triple what I'm charging for podcasts, but it's not like, that's not where I'm trying to like make loads of money or anything like that. I've got a whole separate money making machine basically. But what I'm trying to do is like build kind of a scene and like at least aid it and like facilitate like however many podcasts that need to be here. So I've definitely see a correlation between the ones that have regular releases and kind of have an avenue and they've picked their route and success. So I see a lot of podcasts that talk about the same thing and nothing at the same time. Yeah. And unless you are kind of really big characters and people are tuning in for you, then your podcast it has a lot more work to do than somebody who's got a real like niche and you know exactly why you're going to that podcast. So I never really listened to podcasts. I listened to 2 podcasts, and it was only a boxing one, and it was a financial one actually.
What boxing one do you listen to?
It was Bunce's Boxing Hour.
Okay, I've never heard that one. I listened to Brendan Schaub's one. Was it Brendan Schaub's? The guy who did the UFC stuff. Yeah. But I haven't heard that one.
Yeah, I'm not even sure if he still does it, but that was the only podcasts I listened to really, and it was just because I was such a boxing fan, like, and I just wanted to know everything that's happening in every weight division and everything like that. So I just listened to it whilst I'm doing whatever I was doing. But there's so many podcasts now, and it's such a kind of oversaturated market that I feel like podcasts kind of do need to have a bit more of a niche position now if you're starting now, rather it's different. Like a lot of these other ones were able to assume a position because they've done it for 3 years.
Yeah.
And you've people know why they're coming to you.
Yeah.
But I see a lot of people who kind of don't understand why they're doing the podcast.
They just started.
Because of it, I've seen a lot of podcasts come and go.
Yeah.
And just fail, and it's a waste of money if you think about it. If you just do a podcast for like 8 months and you get absolutely nothing from it, it's not a waste of money, but
it's a loss.
It's a loss. You've made a loss, and there's no gain, but there's so much to be gained here.
Yeah.
I just feel like if you think about it just a little bit better before you actually go to execute it, like there's money here for everyone.
I do feel like there's a purge coming though for podcasts. I think because it's very popular right now.
Yeah.
Everyone's doing it. There'll come a point where it's not as popular.
Well, it can't get much more popular.
Yeah.
Because it's just like everyone has a podcast.
Yeah.
And a lot of them are talking about the same thing. How much of the same information can an individual digest?
Yeah.
Which is why I think people need to be a bit more niche. But yeah, I do believe, I don't think the podcast thing will die, but I think the ones that haven't played their hands properly will begin to phase out.
Yeah.
Also, I think we'll move a little bit more towards visuals.
Yes.
So that's why in that room over there, I'm going to build a green room.
Yeah.
So for people to be able to just have whatever backdrops and do certain shows and whatever it is now, because I feel like eventually we'll move a little bit away from audio and more to everything being visual.
Yeah.
So I'm just trying to beat the curve on that as well. And just,
smart move.
That's it, yeah.
Well, I feel like whenever like a podcast or anything goes like to another level, it's because of visuals. So you have the audio for for a period of time, and then suddenly you got visuals, and that's when it goes from like there to like a much higher level.
It's added income. It's added everything. Do you know what I'm saying? Just gives another dynamic.
Yeah.
If you can video it. Do you know what I'm saying? Because you'll get the Spotify money, the YouTube money that you just, and it might only be 17 pence for now.
But it'll get
But
there.
trust me, like this is like it's just a snowball.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hear that, man. So I guess we're coming to a close in terms of like the conversation. But you hid your face for a while.
Yeah.
And now you've revealed it.
Yeah.
Why?
It was by accident I got revealed.
By accident?
Yeah. So, for example, I was hidden on half cast and 3 shots.
I remember you used to have the emoji on your face on half cast,
So I was hidden just because when I'm saying reckless stuff.
yeah. I think I know.
The last thing my missus needs is her friends hollering at her saying, "Dan's moving wild." Like, as in, like, or like, it just gets too peak. Also, like, I probably did quite a lot of mad stuff when I was younger. That is like, I've got outstanding beef that probably I've forgotten about, but some people haven't forgotten about. So for me, it was just like, just keep your face hidden when you're saying reckless stuff.
Yeah.
And it's better that way anyway. It creates like a mysteria and all of that. But I went on Filthy Fellas, and they weren't supposed to put my name as Savage Dan.
But they did.
I woke up the next morning with like 800 ads. That's it. Well, I was, and I knew from that moment, I thought, oh, that's mad.
Yeah.
I thought, I forget it. And the worst thing is I was on a tune that for whatever reason got signed by Universal. And it was just like, and that tune, even that was coming out in a week's time. And I'd shot my part of the video in like a dark kind of, can you tell who it is? Can you see him? Can you not see him? And it was just like, oh, the cat's out of the bag now. Now this isn't even going to like gel properly. But it is what it is now, man. It is what it is. My face is out here.
Fair enough.
Yeah. I think everyone thought I was like, I tried to spin webs. I said I was dark skinned, I said I was white and ginger. Well, I've done everything to just get them off my chair, and now they got me for good.
Fair enough.
It's mad.
Fair enough. How did that change sort of affect you?
Do you know what? It didn't change too much because I've always in West been quite bait.
Yeah.
So in terms of like being somebody who gets seen a lot anyway, like I was very about.
Yeah.
But what it's changed is that, like when I go to flipping airports or something like that, I'd be like, oh, like it's weird. Like it doesn't happen to me too often. So it's still cool. Like it's like I'm at a point where it's just like, oh, like I love that they love whatever I'm doing or whatever it is. But I can imagine, like for some people, it must get really drawing. Imagine just being so recognizable everywhere
that you can't go anywhere in private.
Oh, yeah, that's a nightmare.
That's sad.
That's a nightmare. That's a nightmare.
Yeah.
But I suppose you work.
You work around.
You work out. Yeah, you have to work it out. This is what I'm saying. I think of like people like Steve-O, who everyone knows Steve-O's face.
Yeah.
Everyone loves Steve-O as well because he's such like a person, like a human.
Yeah, he's a person.
And
person, man.
Yeah, so I think and trust me, like when we go places, like he can't make it 10 meters without someone wanting a picture.
Oh god.
And I think he's got such a good energy to be able to like absorb everyone else's energy. Because I think I would get pissed off.
Eventually, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I would still.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Would you just start saying no to everyone?
I don't think so. I do know what it is, yeah? I'm not rude. By nature, I know I'm not rude. Like, even if I am rude to somebody, I know I'm not rude. Like, I'm not a rude person.
But when you're saying you're not rude, it makes you question if you're rude.
No, but as in, so for example, yeah, like my instinct, yeah, is if I see someone, to smile at them.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Rather than to do a screw face or to do like that stern London thing that just everyone just kind of ignores.
I know, that's the one thing I hear about London.
My instinct is to smile at somebody.
Yeah.
Like if I'm holding the door open for like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I try and be like as respectful and all of that as possible. So I don't think I would ever get to the point where I'm being rude to anyone. But it might tell that everyone stopping me is beginning to jar me.
Yes.
I don't know if it will. Hopefully we don't get there. Hopefully I never go past 20,000 followers. That's it.
Nah, I hear you. And I hope the best in that regard.
Thank you.
Peace of mind. Family peace of mind.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. That's what I just want, solace.
Yeah.
That's it.
Nah, that's cool, man. Final questions. What's next for you?
No idea.
That's good.
No idea.
That's good.
I think it's just more of the same. There's not much more I can do in terms of something completely different. So it'll probably be more music. I'll probably start making it a little bit beta, the stuff that I am doing musically, because I mix a flipping 100 tunes a week probably.
Oh wow!
And I don't, not 100.
I know,
but as in like, I don't put it out there. Even when the tune goes out, I don't really put it out there and do the whole mix by me. Or
do you artists appreciate that?
I don't think they care.
Okay. There
are some artists that come here that I think would prefer if I did do that.
Okay.
Because it might give them a little
push.
But I've got this thing with like being really organic, and it's just like if I don't feel like doing it, the chances are I'm not gonna do it. I don't even post most of the work I do with brands unless I'm like actually asked to and it's part of an agreement or anything like that. It's just if it doesn't feel really organic to me, I do have a bit of a problem with like doing stuff. But yeah, so I'll probably just do more music. I can't do much more podcasts. Like, as in, it's gonna be just podcasts. Probably get into some kind of visual. I'm somebody who like, I'm never content.
Yeah.
So I probably will always need something new. So once this is done, completely done and running and all that, I'll probably then pick up a new project.
Yeah.
Whether it's clothing or whether it's, I always had this thing where I wanted to do like a clothing line, but I just have no time to do it, to execute it.
Yeah.
That could happen. Or even like food or a bar or something. I just want to dip my fingers into something else, because everything that I've fallen into, I've kind of fallen into. I'd like to actually pick something and go after it.
I hear you on that.
But yeah, like probably just more of the same from me. I reckon still.
All right, cool. I know you like to keep your head face in the background.
Yeah.
So this question is going to be interesting. I want to hear your response to this. What do you want your legacy to be? Because you've heard like stuff about Nipsey recently and like obviously Cadet as well.
Do you know what? I've never actually thought about that. I have to leave a legacy, innit?
I mean, they don't have to.
I feel like I have to.
Yeah.
Now that it's started.
I mean, I don't know what legacy I'm leaving. Probably the orange top. But
No, do you know what it is? If I just want to be able to help build whatever this is.
Yes.
This culture, whatever this is, I just want to be known as one of the people that helped to build it.
Yeah.
Because 10 years ago, musically, no one had a Scooby from our world how to make money from music.
That is very true.
All we did was go radio and pay our £5 subs and do all of that. But no one had a clue how to get the money back.
Yeah.
And only like a real few could do it. Like, sorry, the Kanos.
Yes.
And they had to get signed to do it. You know, you got the Kanos, the Dizzies, the Wileys. Everyone was getting picked up on deals.
Yeah.
And you kind of looked at it like, wow, like how is that even happening? But now we're in a position where we are kind of the major players. Yeah. We've become pop music. Yeah. We've become like even though we was always what's wavy, we've actually become what's wavy. Yeah. Do you know what I'm saying? Like we've actually made coming up from an estate and having a working class background in London one of the coolest things in the world. Yeah. Do you know what I'm saying? I'm not sure how it's happened, but we've done it. And I just want to be part of like presenting that to the rest of the world, whether it's via music, whether it's via podcasts, whether it's via even sports. I mean, our culture has such a big influence in sports now. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like half these celebrations, man, are dabbing and are doing we're doing so much stuff that I feel like we have infiltrated everything. Yes. And I just want to be known as one of the people that just threw his little 2 pence in as well. That's cool. You know what I'm saying? And just facilitated and didn't price people out. The reason I made this studio in the first place is because all the studios when I was growing up were either like the ones in the youth clubs that you could only use for 3 hours twice a week and everyone's fighting for that time. Yeah. Or like £60 an hour studios. Yeah. £70 an hour studios that you couldn't use as a 18-year-old with like no dispensable income. Like I made this almost as a halfway house. So now we have Studio A, and obviously labels are paying money for that. But then you have alternative studios. You have loads of different things that you can do as an alternative to being in the big boy studio. But I just want to be able to facilitate for everyone. I don't want to price anyone out of music, podcasts. I don't want people to feel like this place is too bougie for them. I want it to look bougie, feel bougie once you walk in here, but I don't want you to feel like it's too bougie for you and you can't come here. I hear that. So it's just about balance. All right, cool. Yeah. Man.
Well, I appreciate your time.
Love, bro.
Thanks for having me here.
Thank you for having me here.